Alrighty, guys, I'm now 3-0. My last 3 board member tier package bets on my website. But before we get into some more of that, just want to take a quick time out and welcome you to the video here today for Friday, September 16th, 2022. Happy Friday to you. The weekend's finally here. My name is Brock Page, and I've been doing sports picks for free right here on YouTube since 2016. So sell my personal sports bets on patreon.com/BrockPage. And once again, guys, I'm 3-0. My last 3 board member tier package bets on that website. And the link for that package is in the description section below. And just remember, guys, if you sign up for that membership here today, you're going to get access to that package every single day, all the way until October 1st. And as an added bonus here, guys, you're also going to get access to every single bet, every single package, every single day, all the way until the end of September as well. The board member package is an all-inclusive membership. But with that, guys, let's go ahead and dive into some free content. We're going to take a look at the Rockies at the Cubs. And that's going to be a 2:20 Eastern first pitch. Now, Chicago's -130, totals 8 runs. Marcus Stroman for the Cubs, German Marquez for Colorado. Now, Marquez does have double-digit losses on this season, and he also has an ERA in the 5s. Now, the Rockies are also arguably one of the worst road teams in the majors. They're winning just 31% of their ball games when they bat first. Now, Colorado's also dead last in road scoring. No real surprise there. Now, they're taking on a Cubbies team on the other side of things, who's actually coming fresh off a 3-game sweep of the Mets. They held New York to just 6 total runs in that series. Marcus Stroman, he also comes into today's ball game with an ERA in the 3s. Now, Stroman also has a 1.21 whip. When it comes to hitting the baseball, it's Nico Hoerner, who's the team leader in batting average for Chicago. He's hitting nearly 300 at the plate. Now, total-wise, the Cubs averaged over 5.5 runs a game in their last 10 meetings with Colorado. Meanwhile, 6 out of the Rockies' last 10 ball games got over the number themselves. They also saw 5 out of their last 7 German Marquez starts get over the total as well. I'm going to go ahead and lean toward the Cubbies -130 over 8. Next ball game, it is going to be Marlins at the Nationals, 7:05 Eastern first pitch. Miami's -1.25, total 7.5. Jesus Luzardo for Miami, Josiah Gray for Washington. And if you want to see whether I'm making a play on the run line, total, or money line in this one, this game's actually being featured as my extra daily bet on my website. And that play is only going to cost you just $2.99. And just remember, guys, if you sign up for a membership here today on my website, you're going to get access to that membership every single day, all the way until October 1st. And as an added bonus here, guys, if you sign up for that extra daily bet, I'm also going to include my daily best play here absolutely free. So you're going to get access to both of those memberships all the way through the end of September. So once again, guys, if you want to see whether I'm betting the run line, total, or money line in this one, there's only one way to find out, and that's to sign up for my extra daily bet on patreon.com/BrockPage. Next game, little AL East action. I'm talking about the O's taking on the Jays, 7:07 East. Now, this game's currently off the board. Jordan Lyles for Baltimore, Thomas Hatch for Toronto. Now, Hatch has just 4 2/3 innings of work under his belt, and they were quite dreadful. Now, the Blue Jays are also playing just .500 baseball against the division at home. This Toronto pitching staff's in the bottom 10 in home hits allowed per game. One more thing to add here, too. Out of Toronto's last 10 head-to-head meetings with Baltimore, the Jays have actually given up over 5 runs per contest on average. And speaking of the O's, they won their last 2 straight, and they've had some pretty good success when Lyle pitches. They're actually 9-3 straight up in their last dozen Jordan Lyles starts. The righties also struck out over 120 batters on the season. Good things happen, when Lyles is on the bump. So I'm going to lean toward Baltimore getting the job done for some money line cash. All right, next matchup. It is going to be White Sox at the Tigers, and that's going to be a 7:10 Eastern first pitch in Detroit. Now, Chicago's minus 155 on the road, total 7.5 runs. Looks like Lucas Giolito for the Sox. It also looks like we're going to see Matt Manning getting the start for Detroit. Now, guys, this is another one of those games that's being featured on my website. As a matter of fact, this game's being featured as my board member tier package bet on patreon.com/BrockPage. And once again, guys, I'm 3-0, my last 3 board member tier package bets. So if you want to see whether I'm betting on the money line, run line, or total in this one, there's only one way to find out, and that's to sign up for my board member tier package bet on my website. Next ball game, it is going to be Royals at the Red Sox, 7:10 p.m. East. Boston's minus 210, totals 9.5. Michael Wacha for Boston, Johnny Heasley for Kansas City. Now, Heasley's just 3-8 on the year with an ERA of 5.51. Meanwhile, as a team, the Royals are on a 3-game skid, and they also dropped 7 out of their last 9. And aside from some pretty bad pitching, the Royals also have issues generating runs. They're in the bottom 3 in homers, and they score fewer runs a game than most clubs in the American League. Now, they're also facing Michael Wacha here today, who's been just absolutely dynamite this season. Unfortunately, he pitches for the Bo Sox, so you don't really hear a lot about it. A lot of, commentators aren't really talking about Boston. But anyway, Wacha is 11-1 on the year with a 2.69 ERA. And once again, I watch MLB Network every morning religiously. And you don't hear much about Michael Wacha. This is kind of a hidden gem here. Now, this Red Sox lineup, believe it or not, they've had little issue getting base runners all year long. They're in the top 5 in team batting average. It's really been their pitching staff that has fallen short for them. Now, Xander Bogaerts, he's hitting a team best 316. Meanwhile, Rafi Devers, he leads the organization in home runs and RBI. Now, total-wise, Boston went 70% to the over in their last 10 Wacha starts. They also averaged nearly 6.5 runs a game in their last 10 meetings with Kansas City. Meanwhile, the Royals went 9-1 to the over in their last 10 Johnny Heasley starts. I'm going to lean toward Boston minus 1.5, over 9.5. Next ball game, it is going to be Rangers taking on the Rays, 7:10 p.m. East. Tampa Bay is minus 145, total 7 runs. Corey Kluber for the Rays, Martin Perez for Texas. And as good as Perez has been this year, the Rangers have taken the loss in 5 out of his last 8 starts. Now, these Texas hitters have also struggled making contact with the baseball. These guys are in the bottom 10 in the league in strikeouts per game. They're facing Corey Kluber, who's got double-digit wins on the year and a 1.17 whip. Now, the Rays have also been unbeatable at the Trop this season. They're 47-24 in their own building. That's good for a win percentage of .662. Meanwhile, hitting-wise, Randy Arozarena, he leads the franchise in RBI with 79. Meanwhile, Yandy Diaz, he has the highest qualifying batting average in the lineup here today. When it comes to the total, Tampa saw unders in 6 out of their last 10 meetings with Texas. So if you're into historical trends, certainly want to think about that one there. Meanwhile, the Rangers went 4-1 to the under in their last 5 on the road. I'm going to lean toward Tampa Bay, minus 145, under 7. Next ball game, Pirates Mets, 7:10 p.m. East. The New York Mets are minus 260, total 7.5 runs. Taijuan Walker for New York, Mitch Keller for Pittsburgh. Now, Keller's got double-digit losses and a 1.41 whip. And even if Keller pitches well, the Buccos have one of the worst hitting lineups in baseball. They're second to last in the entire Bigs in team batting average, and they're striking out more times a game than any other club in the National League. They're also facing Taijuan Walker here today, who's 11-4 on the mound with a 3.48 ERA. Now, the Mets have also been really tough to get out at the plate. They're actually in the top 5 in team batting average, and they're striking out fewer times a game than most clubs in the National League. Now, Pete Alonso, he's currently leading the NL right now in RBI with 112 of them. Meanwhile, teammate Jeff McNeil, he's the club leader in batting average at .322. When it comes to the total in this one, New York went 7-3 to the over in their last 10 outings. Meanwhile, Pittsburgh saw overs in 6 out of their last 10 themselves. I'm going to lean toward the New York Mets -1.5 and the over 7.5. Next ball game, Twins at the Guardians, 7:10 p.m. East. Cleveland's -130, total 7.5 runs. Tristan McKenzie for the Guardians, Bailey Ober for Minnesota. And even though Ober hasn't been stellar this year, he still has himself a 1.28 whip. Now, the Twins are also on a 3-game winning streak, and they've done a pretty nice job in divisional play. They're actually 34-25 against the AL Central this year. They're also led by Luis Arias, who's done a nice job getting on base this season. He's hitting a team-best .320 at the plate. Actually, for a good chunk of the year, he was leading the entire Bigs in batting average. But anyway, Luis Arias, .320 at the dish. He's 4th in the Bigs in that category right now. Now, they're going to have to face Tristan McKenzie here today. And even though he's got really good numbers, the Guardians, for some reason, just don't want to win for him. The righty's got 11 losses on the year and, of course, a losing record. Now, these Guardian hitters, they've also, they just haven't been great. They're in the bottom 10 in OPS, and they're second to last in the Bigs in home runs. Now, total-wise, Cleveland's gone 16-11 to the under in their divisional contests at Progressive Field. Meanwhile, Minnesota saw 3 out of their last 6 Bailey Ober starts fall under the number themselves. I'm going to lean toward Minnesota +1.5, keeping this one close, under 7.5. Next ball game, little NL East action. I'm talking about the Phillies at the Braves, 7:20 Eastern start time at Truist Park. Atlanta's -185 at home, total 7.5 runs. Max Fried for the Braves, Ranger Suarez for Philadelphia. Now, Suarez has had actually a pretty good year here for Philly. He's 9-5 with an ERA in the 3s. He's also got himself nearly 115 strikeouts. Now, as a team, the Fightins have been playing some really good baseball here lately. They got the W in 7 out of their last 9. And they rarely have issues getting on base. They're in the top 10 in batting average, top 5 in runs per game. Kyle Schwarber has a National League best 38 home runs. Meanwhile, Bryce Harper's hitting .305 at the dish. Now, they're taking on Max Fried here today, and even though he's been excellent, the Braves haven't done a whole lot for him lately. Atlanta's lost 2 out of their last 3 Max Fried starts. They're also playing just .500 baseball in his last 10 starts as well. Now, more recently, the Braves posted a record of just 1-4 in their last 5, and they continue to struggle with strikeouts at the plate. Atlanta's in the bottom 3 in the league in strikeouts per 9 with the bats. When it comes to the total in this one, 5 out of Fried's last 7 outings did stay under the number. Meanwhile, on the other side of things, the Phillies saw 2 out of their last 4 road games fall under the total as well. I'm going to lean toward Philadelphia +1.5, under 7.5 runs. Next ball game, Athletics taking on the Astros, 8:10 p.m. East. Now, Houston's the massive $4 favorite, total 7.5 runs. Justin Verlander for the Stros, Adrian Martinez for Oakland. Now, A-Mart's got an ERA in the 5s along with a 1.53 whip. Meanwhile, as a team, the A's dropped 7 out of their last 9. They have one of the worst hitting lineups in the game. They're currently dead last in team batting average, and they're also second to last in runs per contest. Now, they're also facing Justin Verlander, who's been virtually unhittable this year. Jay Ver's 16-3 with a 1.84 ERA and a .86 whip. Meanwhile, as an organization, the Stros are on a 5-game winning streak, and they also got the W in 7 out of their last 8. Now, Yordan Alvarez, he's 3rd in the Bigs right now in OPS. He also has the highest qualifying batting average in the lineup today. Meanwhile, Kyle Tucker, he's the club leader in runs batted in. He's got 97 of them. Now, when it comes to the total, Houston went 10-2 to the under in their last dozen Verlander starts. They're also 6-1 to the under in their last 7 at Minute Maid Park. Meanwhile, on the other side of things, Oakland's gone 17-12 to the under in their divisional road games. I'm going to lean toward Houston -1.5, under 7.5. Next ball game should be a good one. I'm talking about the Yankees at the Brewers. And that's going to be an 8:10 Eastern first pitch in Milwaukee. Now, the Yankees are -1.25 on the road, totals 8 runs. Frankie Montas for New York, Adrian Hauser for the Brewers. Now, Milwaukee did see 4 out of their last 7 Hauser starts fall under the number. They also saw 3 out of their last 5 at home stay under the line as well. Meanwhile, the Yankees have gone 60% to the under in their interleague contest this season. They're also 5-1 to the under in their last 6 Frankie Montas starts. So if you take into account all those factors, plenty of unders to go around. Now, as far as selecting a winner in this one, this game's being featured as my $1.99 daily best play on my website. So if you want to see whether I'm taking the Yankees laying the juice on the road, or if I like Milwaukee catching plus money at home, there's only one way to find out, and that's to sign up for my $1.99 daily best play on patreon.com/BrockPage. But as far as making a free pick is concerned, I'm going to lean toward the under 8 runs in that ball game. Next matchup, Reds at the Cards, 8:15 East. St. Louis is -270, totals 8.5. Jack Flaherty for St. Louis, Arriver San Martin for Cincinnati. Now, San Martin's got an ERA of 6.61, along with a 1.76 whip. Meanwhile, as a team, Cincy dropped 6 out of their last 7, and they've had a tough time in divisional play. These guys have a .406 win percentage against the NL Central. They're also facing a St. Louis club who's had consistent success in divisional play themselves. The Cards are winning nearly 70% of their divisional contests at Busch Stadium. Now, the reason why I go over those divisional numbers is that we're talking head-to-head matchups and common opponents. So definitely a metric that you want to consider. Now, their lineup, the Cards, their lineup's been pounding the baseball all season long. They're in the top 3 in OPS, and they're actually led by Paul Goldschmidt, who's been just an absolute beast at the plate all season long. Goldie's hitting .324 and ranks in the top 5 in homers, RBI, and OPS. When it comes to the total, the Cards averaged over 5.5 runs a game in their last 10 meetings with Cincinnati. They're also 18-13 the over against the NL Central at home. Meanwhile, Cincinnati's gone 64% to the over in their divisional road games. I'm going to lean toward the Cardinals -1.5, over 8.5. Next ball game, Mariners Angels 9:38 East. Seattle's -155, totals 8 runs. Robbie Ray for Seattle, Michael Lorenzen for Los Angeles. Now, Lorenzen's got an ERA in the high 4s along with a 1.34 whip. The Angels are also on a 4-game losing streak, and they took the loss in 6 out of their last 7. And aside from many other things, the Angels' biggest bugaboo this year has been strikeouts at the dish. They're fading more times a game than any other team in the bigs. Now, that trend should continue here today as they face Robbie Ray. The lefty has nearly 200 strikeouts on the year, along with a dozen wins. Now, the Mariners also play their best baseball on the road, and their lineup's in the top 10 in homers. Eugenio Suarez, he has 31 bombs on the year. He's also the club leader in RBI. When it comes to the scoring, Seattle saw unders in 6 out of their last 10. They're also 9-5 to the under in their last 14 Robbie Ray starts. Meanwhile, Los Angeles, they've gone 17-11 to the under against the AL West at Angel Stadium. I'm going to lean towards Seattle -155, under 8. Next ball game, little NL West action. I'm talking about the Padres at the Diamondbacks, 9:40 p.m. East. San Diego, they are -175, totals 8 runs. Blake Snell for San Diego, Madison Bumgarner for Arizona. And even though Mad Bum's record stinks this year, He has surpassed the century mark with regard to strikeouts. Now, this Arizona lineup has also done a nice job of scoring at Chase Field. They're in the top 10 in home scoring, top 3 in home walks at the plate. Now, Christian Walker, he has a team-best 32 home runs. He's 10th in the majors in that category. Walker is also leading the franchise right now in RBI with 80 of them. Now, they're facing Blake Snell here today, who's been only a shell of himself this year. He's 6-9 with an ERA in the 4s. Meanwhile, as a team, the Pods lost 4 out of their last 5, and they were shut out by Arizona 4-0 just last night. Now, when it comes to the total, 6 out of San Diego's last 10 outings did get over the number. Meanwhile, Arizona went 9-3 to the over in their last dozen Mad Bum starts. I'm going to go ahead and lean toward Arizona plus 1.5, over 8 runs. And with that, guys, we're going to jump into our next and final matchup for the video. It is going to be Dodgers taking on the Giants, 10:15 Eastern start time. Now, the LA Dodgers are minus 160, total 7.5. Dustin May for Los Angeles, Logan Webb for San Francisco. Now, Webb's been a lone bright spot for the Giants this year. He's got a 13-8 record with an ERA in the 2s. The Giants have also gotten the W in 4 out of their last 5 ball games. And they do a pretty nice job of putting runners across the plate at Oracle Park. They're in the top 10 in home scoring, and they're also led by Wilmer Flores, who has a club best 65 runs batted in. Now, they're also facing a Dodger team on the other side who they've already clinched. So they're just looking to, kind of get into the postseason healthy, maybe give a couple new guys some looks, see if they're playoff ready. Now, they also have Dustin May on the bump, who's got an ERA in the 4s. So this is another guy who, probably, competing for a spot in that bullpen for the postseason. This is the start kind of matters for him. Now, total-wise, 7 out of LA's last 10 got over the number. They also saw their last 2 Dustin May starts get over the line. I'm going to lean toward the Giants plus 1.5, over 7.5. With that, guys, we're going to jump into our quick pick recap. I like the Cubs minus 130, over 8 runs. Give me, the Miami-Washington game is, let's try that again. Let's start over. Let's start over the quick pick recap. All right, we had the shit going on in the background. Let's start it over. Give me the Cubs minus 130, over 8 runs. The Miami-Washington game is being used as my extra daily bet on my website. I like Baltimore getting the job done for some money line cash. The White Sox-Tigers game is being used as my board member bet on my website. Give me Boston minus 1.5, over 9.5. Tampa Bay minus 145, under 7. New York Mets minus 1.5, over 7.5 runs. Minnesota plus 1.5, under 7.5. Philadelphia plus 1.5, under 7.5 runs. Houston minus 1.5, under 7.5. I like the under 8 in the Yankees-Milwaukee game. Give me St. Louis minus 1.5, over 8.5 runs. I like Seattle minus 155, under 8. I also like Arizona plus 1.5, over 8 runs. And with my next and final free pick for the video, I'm going to lean toward the Giants plus 1.5, over 7.5. With that, guys, that's going to do it for me. Man, I'll tell you, had an interesting day yesterday. Actually put $100 into my PokerStars account. Not looking to become a millionaire, just wanted to kill some time, and dust off, a quick hundy. Well, we got on there, actually played some really good poker. I ran my stack up to over $700 off that 100, and I got into a huge hand. I had pocket aces, so I'm first to act. I make it's 1-2 no limit, by the way, 1-2 no limit hold'em. So I'm first to act. I make it $6 to go with aces. Guy folds. Guy next to him, he repops it to 21. Another folder. Guy next to him makes it $75. So I know right there he repops it to 75. I'm about to get paid. So I just jam for 700. I had everybody covered, so the whole stack wasn't at risk. So the original raiser, he ends up folding, and then the guy who repopped it to 75 he calls with queens. Now, if he would have pushed all in with queens, that's okay. But he called with queens knowing he was beat. And of course, he spikes the queen right out of the gate. He was all in for $400 and just completely pummels me. So I lost essentially a $900 pot with pocket aces. Had it all in good. So I know a lot of you guys are going to tell me oh, you should have limped in or you should have just flatted and saw the flop. No, man. If I have aces and I can literally get it all in before any type of action, and a guy calls me with queens, I'll take it every time. I'm sorry. So yeah, that was a really, really. It's poker. I'm not going to say it's a bad beat. That's not a bad beat. That is just poker. A bad beat is like getting like one outed and shit. Well, I mean, I guess basically I was two outed, but that guy always has outs to hit a flush or a straight. So it's not improbable that he won the hand. I just didn't like the play calling $400. It's obvious I have aces there. Now, if he jams first in position with the queens and I call him with the aces, I'm okay with that play. It's a great jam. It's a great squeeze play. But the fact that I came over the top and he calls with the queens, I mean, what else can you put? I think he knew. I think he called knowing I had aces or kings and still just tried to suck out. Man, he did it right out of the gate, peeled it off. So anyway, guys, I said earlier, happy Friday to you. Well, it's not going to be a happy Friday to me because one of my cheap fucking friends asked me and a bunch of his buddies to help him move today. Guy's moving into a new house, like 3 acres, and he has us moving. I'm like, dude, we're in our 30s. Like, hire a moving company. Like, what the hell? I'm 37 years old. I shouldn't be moving anybody. My next move would be like helping our son move his shit into his dorm room in college. And at that point, you're still not moving beds, dressers, and all that shit. That's already there. Like, I gotta move a grown man. Guy's 35 years old. Me and a bunch of other 30-year-olds are moving his shit. Like, I live my life avoiding that. I don't move my own shit. I hire a moving company every time. Like, I don't move my own stuff. Why would I want to move, like, another grown man's shit? He's just too fucking cheap to buy a moving service. He wants to get free labor out of us. Horrible. Horrible, man. It's just crazy. Pisses me off. So my Friday shot, I could be grinding on PokerStars, getting that money back, or I could just be at the casino now, but I'll just be betting on my phone. Sucks. But anyway, hey, at least I have friends. Actually, at that juncture, who needs friends? Got you moving and shit, moving their shit. Horrible. These fucking guys don't even come to my parties and shit. It's just bad. You gotta choose better friends. Anyway, that is, I guess if you can't use your buddies, who can you use? But anyway, guys, that is going to do it for me. Gotta thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with that said, guys, happy Friday to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today actually, I won't be seeing you. I won't even be on my phone because I'll be moving fucking furniture and couches and beds and dressers. Guarantee you they did not take the clothes out of the dressers either. Shitty day coming up for me. But anyway, happy Friday to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage.